Look at our planet today. There are 8 billion of us, constantly rushing, pushing, and endlessly striving for more. We can sit in climate-controlled metal tubes flying across the sky, yet we completely lose our minds if a train is just 3 minutes late. But beneath that tailored suit, your biology is hiding a massive, glitchy secret. Meet your inner self, Grog, a 70,000-year-old hunter-gatherer trying to survive in a modern world. Grog's idea of a perfect day is finding a berry bush and taking a nap, not worrying about inflation. If you tried to explain the concept of a job to Grog and his partner Ilara, they would think you were completely insane. Because your brain wasn't built for the corporate treadmill, it was built for survival. We like to think of prehistoric life as a constant, desperate struggle for survival. We assume that without money, banks, and modern civilization, our ancestors must have been miserable, starving, and exhausted all the time. But anthropologists have uncovered a shocking truth about early humans. They were actually part of the original leisure society. Our ancestors didn't work 9 to 5. They didn't even work 9 to 12. The average hunter-gatherer spent only 3 to 5 hours a day finding food. The rest of their time was completely unapologetically free. They spent their days making art, telling stories, and relaxing with their tribe. If a muscle ached, they rested. There was no hustle culture. The idea of maximizing productivity by 0.7% day or tracking every single second of the day simply did not exist. They built what they needed for the day, and then they stopped. But today, we put our entire lives under a magnifying glass, staring blankly at glowing screens until our eyes burn. Imagine handing a modern employment contract to a caveman. You want to buy my time? What even is time? The very concept of selling your life for imaginary paper is a brand new invention. For 99% of human history, hunting and gathering was just a tiny part of the day. It wasn't work, it was just living. There was no separation between work life and personal life. It was all just life. But then humanity invented a terrifying new concept: work as a duty. We invented the idea that if you aren't exhausted, you aren't valuable. And this is exactly why you feel so incredibly burnt out today. Your ancient biology is screaming for you to lie down in the grass, but your modern society is handing you another spreadsheet. It's a complete biological mismatch, an evolutionary short circuit. You are an apex predator built for short bursts of energy, trapped in a chair, confused about why you feel so miserable. You were built to roam the open plains, and you were biologically designed to sleep when you are tired. Our ancestors prioritized rest and deep social bonds above everything else. But today, we view sleep as an obstacle to productivity. We pump ourselves full of caffeine just to suppress our natural instincts. We lost our connection to the natural rhythm of the sun and the earth. So, how did we go from wandering freely, to willingly locking ourselves in a daily grind? How did our work hours explode while our happiness plummeted? It all started with what seemed like a brilliant idea at the time: the biggest trap in human history. About 12,000 years ago, Grog stumbled upon a wild stalk of wheat. The human brain saw this as the ultimate biological cheat code. Why chase animals when you can just grow food in your backyard? But this convenience came with a brutal hidden contract. We didn't domesticate wheat. Wheat domesticated us. Suddenly, humans couldn't move freely anymore. We had to stay and protect the crops. Our 4-hour workday instantly turned into endless, back-breaking labor from dawn till dusk. We started building fences. We invented the concept of mine versus yours. And for the first time, humans started worrying about the future. Instead of living in the present moment, we began stressing over next season's harvest. Our varied, healthy diets of wild berries and meats were replaced by a massive, anxiety-inducing dependency on a single crop. The human brain wasn't built for long-term existential dread, but nature doesn't care if you're happy. It only cares if you multiply. Farming allowed our populations to explode, but our individual stress skyrocketed. We traded our freedom for a permanent address and a ticking clock. We became trapped in a system of our own making. The nomadic freedom of the savanna was gone forever, and the trap was only going to get worse. Fast forward thousands of years, and the agricultural trap mutated. We traded the muddy fields for dark, suffocating factories. If Grog thought farming was a bad deal, the Industrial Revolution would have completely broken his mind. Humans were literally treated as organic cogs in a massive machine. Today, those factories have just been painted gray and renamed cubicles. We are still chained to a rhythm that our biology completely rejects. We work more hours than medieval peasants, yet we feel like we are constantly behind. Your ancestors rested freely, without an ounce of guilt. But today, taking a nap on a Tuesday feels like a moral failure. We convinced ourselves that endless economic growth equals human happiness. But your nervous system hasn't received that memo. To your primitive brain, the modern office is an active war zone of stress. Your cortisol levels are permanently elevated. You are constantly preparing to fight a tiger that doesn't exist. This is why your shoulders are tight. This is why you can't sleep. Your hardware is 70,000 years old, and it is overheating from running modern software. Our ancestors moved to survive. Today, we have to force ourselves to go to the gym just to mimic basic human movement. We traded our autonomy for a paycheck, staring blankly at glowing rectangles to earn imaginary digits. Your brain is practically begging you to stop and look at the sky, but the system demands your absolute attention. We forgot how to just exist. We forgot that doing nothing is actually a biological requirement. The modern world is a sensory overload nightmare, and just when you think you can escape the office, the trap follows you all the way home. Because they figured out how to put the factory directly into your pocket. Enter the digital trap. The few hours of freedom we actually have left are now stolen by infinite scrolling. You leave the physical chains of your desk, only to be chained by algorithms. Grog's brain was designed to seek out new information to survive the wild. But a smartphone hijacks that exact same survival instinct. Every notification triggers a tiny, exhausting spike of adrenaline. You are running on a digital treadmill that has no off switch. While your ancestors spent their evenings telling stories by the fire, you spend yours comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. The hunter-gatherer only had to worry about the opinions of their small tribe. You are exposing your ancient brain to the judgment of the entire planet. It is a recipe for absolute crushing biological burnout. And your brain is screaming for a break. The burnout you feel isn't a sign of weakness. It is your body functioning exactly as it was designed to. It is your biology aggressively rejecting an unnatural environment. We are chasing a constantly moving goalpost. Our expectations have skyrocketed, while our baseline happiness has plummeted. We are climbing an endless staircase of gold, hoping the next step will finally bring peace. But the peace you are looking for isn't at the top of the stairs. It's at the bottom, where you started. The truth is, the system isn't going to fix itself. Nobody is going to hand your time back to you. Your biology is fundamentally incompatible with modern capitalism, and the only way to win this game is to realize that you don't actually have to play it. You have the power to consciously unplug the machine, to recognize that intentional rest is not laziness, it is survival. The moment you stop glorifying the hustle and start throwing away the digital garbage, you begin to rewrite your own corrupted code. You can choose to step off the hedonic treadmill. You can free your mind from the tangled wires of constant expectation. Stop treating your free time as an opportunity to be productive. Learn how to exist like Grog again. Stand in the sun. Breathe the air. Reconnect with the physical world that your body was actually built for. Give yourself the radical permission to do absolutely nothing. The modern world is an incredible illusion, but you can build a fortress around your own peace of mind. Protect your sleep, protect your time, and protect your tribe. Shield yourself from the endless barrage of manufactured stress. Reclaim the leisure society that was stolen from you 12,000 years ago. Your 9-to-5 does not define your biological worth. You are a complex ancient survivor who just happens to be visiting the 21st century. So stop running in the wheel. Start living on your own terms. Embrace the absolute freedom of the original human design. Subscribe if you're ready to break the code.